The question here is huge, right? How in the world do you make something better when it's already so everywhere, so baked into our daily lives? It's the ultimate challenge of improving on something that for most of us feels like it already works just fine.
So, here's the game plan for this explainer. First, we'll talk about just how dominant Google is. Then, we're going to zero in on a very specific type of user. We'll look at what really frustrates them, brainstorm 3 potential solutions, see how a company might actually choose one, and then wrap up by asking what a smarter search future could even look like.
All right, first things first, before we can even think about reinventing search, we have to really get our heads around its incredible dominance. For so many people, it's not just another website. It's the front door to the entire internet.
Yeah, we all know the deal. It finds stuff for us, whether we type, speak, or even show it a picture. But its true power, its real moat, is how deeply it's woven into this massive ecosystem with Maps and YouTube and Gmail. It's monetized through ads, of course, and it's still the undisputed king, even with these new AI challengers like Perplexity popping up.
But here's where it gets really interesting. To find the next big thing for Google, we can't just look at the average person. No, we need to focus on a very specific and often forgotten group, the power user. This is where the real opportunity is hiding. You see, Google's user base isn't just one big blob. You've got your novices, then this huge slice of casual, everyday users, and then you've got this 20%. These are the power searchers, the researchers, the students, the professionals who are doing really deep, complex work. And for this explainer, they're our entire focus. So why obsess over this 20%? Well, because these power users are kind of like the canaries in the coal mine. They are the ones who push the product to its absolute limits. They're early adopters, they drive a ton of engagement, and here's the key. Solving their problems often ends up creating features that make the product better for everyone.
So if these folks are so important, what's actually bothering them? You know, even for a product as slick as Google, when you really start to look closely, you can see the friction. Let's dig into the frustrations they face every single day. The first big one is something so fundamental you might not even notice it until it drives you absolutely bonkers. A total and complete lack of what we call context continuity. Just think about it. You're deep down a research rabbit hole, right? And every single new query starts from a totally blank slate. Google has zero memory of the last 5 articles you just read. It forces you into that chaotic workflow of having like 20 tabs open, trying to piece everything together yourself. It's not just inefficient, it is seriously tedious.
And then there's the second major hurdle. This one's a two-headed monster that I think we all feel. Information overload and the deep sense of distrust that comes with.
Because look, power users aren't just looking for an answer, they're looking for a credible answer. And that means they have to wade through page after page of content that's just engineered for SEO, but is super low on actual substance. They have to open up 3, 4, 5 different sources just to confirm one single fact. And you layer on all the ads and the AI summaries, and finding a result you can actually trust becomes a real chore. That friction doesn't just slow you down, it actually starts to chip away at your trust in the whole system.
Okay, we've laid out the problems. Now for the really fun part. How can we actually fix it? Let's brainstorm 3 totally different visions for what a better Google search could be.
Okay, first up, solution number 1 is called Smart Search Shortcuts. The core idea here is to make search proactive and personal, to have it anticipate what you need before you even start typing.
So here's how you can picture it working. The system starts to learn your patterns. So maybe at 8 a.m. it shows you a little one-tap tile for weather in Delhi. At lunchtime, lunch near me. It uses context, your time, your location, your history, to serve up what you probably need. You could even pin your go-to sites like Stack Overflow or Reddit for even quicker access.
The point here isn't to blast you with a million options. It's about making things effortless. It's predictive help that gets rid of the friction for all those repetitive searches we do day in and day out. It simply learns, and it serves. Now our second vision, Search Companion. This one takes a totally different angle. Instead of just predicting simple searches, it adds a conversational AI layer to guide you through those really complex research tasks, all inside one continuous thread.
This goes straight for that context problem we talked about. You could search for best hybrid cars and then follow up with, okay, which is safest for families? And the companion would know exactly what you're talking about. It could summarize info from trusted sites with citations and then suggest smart next steps like show me the price range or compare these side by side. It becomes your research partner. And our third and final idea. This one is all about tackling that trust issue head on. We're calling it Info Validator. Basically, a built-in credibility compass to give you trust signals right in your search results.
Just imagine this for a second. Your search results start showing these little badges like fact-checked or high credibility source. It would flag stuff that's disputed or comes from a shady site. And maybe the best part, it could show you if a claim is backed up by other trusted sources. It's basically doing all that verification work for you.
Okay, so 3 really solid ideas. But in the real world, you can't build all 3 at once. You have to pick a winner. And this is where the fun brainstorming part meets, cold, hard strategy.
And this little matrix is where the decision happens. For each solution, we're basically mapping out how much work it is to build versus how much of a difference it'll make for the user. Now, that search companion has a huge impact, but man, it's a ton of work. Info Validator is pretty similar, but look at Smart Search Shortcuts. It has a high impact for only a medium amount of effort. That, my friends, is the strategic sweet spot. That's our priority number 1.
So Smart Shortcuts is our big winner. But picking an idea is really just the start. Now you have to figure out, how do you prove it was the right call? We have to know how we're going to measure success. Success isn't just a vibe, it's about the numbers. You'd track the shortcut engagement rate. Are people actually tapping these things? You'd measure for a reduction in session time. Is it actually saving them time? Is it building a habit by increasing their daily searches? And most importantly, are those critical power users we started with sticking around?
And that really brings us to our final thought here. As we build tools like Smart Shortcuts, we're moving search away from being a reactive tool into something more like a predictive companion. And that leaves us with a pretty provocative question to chew on. As our tech starts to anticipate what we want, who's really leading the conversation? Is it you or is it the algorithm?